for that inch.
Rarely do I see any American Italians eating in here.
But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
Villkoret är att jag får leva.
Yes! Yes!
Hey there, welcome to Real Genius. I'm Chris Vognar, culture critic for the Dallas Morning News.
I'm Robert Wilonsky, city columnist for the Dallas Morning News.
And we went to see The Nice Guys, because we are the nice guys, really. Well, you're not all that nice.
Well, thanks.
I'm a very nice
kind of
guy. This is
not nice thing to say.
You know I love you, Robert. This is the new sort of jokey, violent comedy from Shane Black, who made Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
And Iron Man 3.
And Iron Man 3.
And wrote Lethal Weapon.
And let's not forget that he also wrote Last Action Hero.
He did.
So we're not going to just sing his praises to the high heavens. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling team up to solve a porn star murder in 1970s Los Angeles. Lots of hijinks ensue. I would be lying if I said I did not laugh many, many times. I'm not sure if I loved it, though.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Are you reviewing it?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No. That's probably one reason I'm not sure.
Oh, who's reviewing it?
I don't know.
I would have reviewed
probably
it.
Roger Moore.
Dang it, I'd have reviewed it.
Sorry, man.
I had a lot to say about this movie.
Well, let's hear it.
Well, let's look at a clip of it
Let's
first.
do that. This is Russell Crowe, plays a tough guy for hire. Ryan Gosling plays sort of a bumbling alcoholic private eye, and this is how...
a really wonderful 13-year-old daughter.
A wonderful 13-year-old daughter, and this is how the two guys meet cute.
You're a private investigator?
Look, there's $20 in there, all right? Just take it.
No, I'm not here for that, I told you.
You and no hired me.
Yeah. If we can do this the easy way, we can do it the hard
Glenn.
way. What?
Lily Glenn, 2 ends. Old lady hired me to find her niece on Tuesday.
You just gave up your client.
I made a discretionary revelation.
No, you just gave her up. I asked you one simple question. You gave me all the
I
information.
thought that's what you wanted.
What? Now, I'm very sorry that you didn't get the message.
I get it, I dig it.
What about now? Give me your left arm.
Huh?
Your left arm. Give me your left arm. This one.
No!
Yeah, come on.
No! No!
Right, look, when you're talking to your doctor, just tell him you have a spiral fracture of the left radius.
No! No!
Deep breath. You mind if I have an apple?
So
Come on, you just laughed there.
I laughed a lot during this movie. So 2 quick observations before I turn it over to you. One, Ryan Gosling needs to do more comedies.
Absolutely.
He was real funny in The Big Short, and his timing is just superb throughout this whole thing. He has the comedic gene, and I think he often hides behind the...
His Lou Costello impression could not have been more brilliant.
He's a funny dude. In my other observation, Shane Black's films, they just seem to have quote marks around everything from beginning to end. He's riffing on the action movie, and it's almost, he did Lethal Weapon, as you said, he wrote Lethal Weapon. That was back in '87.
Yes.
Even back then, it was almost kind of a meta buddy comedy.
Right,
And
to the point where he reinvented the genre.
Right, and since then, I really like Kiss Bang Bang as well. Everything he does seems to be largely about action movies as much as anything else.
Yeah, but let's take a movie like Brick, which we both love. Rian Johnson's first film. The guy who's doing the next Star Wars movie did Looper as well. What is Brick, if not the most meditation on gumshoe movies, happens to be set in modern day high school? We love those kind of movies. We love movies about movies. We love movies that comment on them. Yet at the same time, this one may exist between the quote marks, but at the same time, that doesn't take away from its pleasures, which are copious. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's a really good movie, regardless of the fact that it just happens to be a movie about movie, while being set in Hollywood, while working in the world of porn as well. It is grim, it's grimy, but it's also really funny and really smart and really kind of has an unexpected amount of heart, given Gosling's relationship with his daughter, who sort of is the hero of the film in a lot of ways.
Did you think I didn't think the storyline, I thought it had about 90 minutes of story, in a 2-hour movie. And I guess story is beside the point. I guess we're not really supposed to be following the story necessarily.
There's a certain point at which I completely lost track of what the plot of the movie was. Was it about the death of Misty Mountains, or was it about this missing girl, Amelia, or was it about Kim Basinger as the head of the Department of Justice, or was it about catalytic converters?
It's a bit of a Shaggy Dog story.
It's a very Shaggy Dog story, but then again, so was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I mean, think about what that movie was about. That movie was about the relationship between Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. This movie's about the relationship between Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, who bring with them a lot of the baggage from their previous films in a lot of ways. One thing I loved about Russell Crowe is that I could kind of imagine this is how Bud White would have ended up.
And of course, Kim Basinger's in it as well.
Right, so you've got Kim Basinger and Russell Crowe.
Over the hill, Bud White.
Right, but he's playing the same kind of character he played from L.A. Confidential. And in fact, there is a reference to a diner and it takes for a little while to figure out what that backstory is, and that backstory is not terribly interesting. But to hear him talk about the diner, I mean, it's set in Los Angeles in 1977. In fact, I kept sort of expecting Elliot Gould at some point to walk out.
Very long goodbye, very night moves.
Yes, very much so.
Missing dead girl.
Very To Live and Die in LA as well.
1970s, you know, strange things going on. There's one scene where he's driving down Sunset Boulevard and we see a Tower Records.
The CGI Tower Records.
CGI Tower Records and a billboard for Jaws 2.
I love the fact that it was the Jaws 2 billboard.
Right. So it's very well done in that respect. So I have another question for you. You are a father, and I remember when we were talking about months ago, we were talking about The Hateful Eight, and you took some exception to the brutality against Jennifer Jason Leigh in that film. So I'm wondering, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm genuinely curious.
But you're going to nevertheless.
A little girl gets thrown through a window.
Right.
In this movie, the 13-year-old daughter.
But she's okay.
Oh, she's okay because it's a movie. The 13-year-old daughter that you referred to, Ryan Gosling, watches a porno movie with a porn star.
Right.
Does any of this stuff give you the same kind of pause that?
Well, I mean, the language that she's around as well. I mean, I had read a couple of interviews where they were talking to Gosling and Russell Crowe about how weird they felt using salty language around such a young child. But the fact is, she's the toughest one in the film in a lot of ways. I mean, she's the smartest and toughest and bravest person in the movie.
See, that's how I felt about Jennifer Jason Leigh and Hateful Eight.
I don't want to get off on that tangent again. Okay. But I think she's, because of the way she's been raised, and the backstory that she's also given in the relationship to her, the death, why Ryan Gosling is a single parent. I think there are some exceptions. Certainly every case is different. You know, I think about the fact that I have been bringing my now 12-year-old child to my job for a very long time.
You're not going to take him to this, though.
No, but I keep thinking about the fact that he's just taking her to his job. And the fact is, he doesn't want to. He tries to leave her at home, but she keeps tagging along because she is smart. Because
it's kind of a Nancy Drew.
I was going to say she's very much
girl.
sort of a riff on Nancy Drew in a lot of ways. I wasn't bothered by that kind of stuff because, as you say, a lot of this movie takes place between quotation marks. It is a movie about a movie. As opposed to what Hateful Eight just felt sort of reveled in its misanthropy, as opposed to this, which is not that. I thought this was a bit jokier and a bit more self-aware than the Hateful Eight.
It's a lot jokier.
And I just thought this movie was, I really liked it. I thought for a movie as violent as it is and as coarse as it was also really light on its feet and really sort of. And as someone who loves movies made in 1970s Hollywood, about 1970s Hollywood, The Long Goodbye is one of my 5 favorite films. I would watch this on a double bill with that and feel pretty comfortable with it. I think it's, this is a movie that starts with it reminds me in a lot of ways of that scene from Animal House, where that kid with a playmate who comes through his window. And
Thank you, God.
Yeah, that's from Animal House, right?
I think so.
This has a lot of that to it in some ways. You know, the very first scene is a kid singing Misty Mountains, the porn star, dies in an awful car wreck, but
the car drives through.
The car drives through his house, and then she's posed as she was in the magazine spread that he had just been looking at.
Right.
That sort of suggests to me that this is the kind of movie we're going to be watching. Something that is all I mean, it's not quite the airplane version of The Long Goodbye, but it's kind of close. And the fact that these two guys work so well together, and two guys who aren't necessarily thought of as comedic actors are so damn funny, sort of helped it and improved its point in a lot of ways.
It's very funny. It's very violent, as you said. So be aware of that. And it is, largely, it's not it's you can't act like it's a substantial piece of work that's going to make you think about a lot of things. It is, however, it's a really fun 2 hours.
Look,
at the movies.
I saw I remember seeing the first Red Band trailer several months ago, and I couldn't wait to see it. And then I've seen every trailer that came out since because I was just sort of anticipating very anxiously this movie more than most coming out this year. And it lives up to those expectations. It is every bit the goofy, violent caper that its trailer had promised. And it kind of gave me exactly what I wanted. A bit of a jolt, a bit of a giggle, and a bit of a thrill watching two guys be really great together. I mean, I walked out of that going, I hope this is a franchise.
Well, yeah. I think you're supposed to at the end. You're supposed to and perhaps anticipate a sequel.
I mean, I really hope there's a sequel.
The Nicer Guys.
I really hope there is. I think Shane Black is really good at this kind of stuff. This is, you think about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, and this. They all have voiceover. They're all being narrated by their central characters. I hate narration. I think it's a lazy device. But he uses it because he is making a commentary about these kinds of things. This is a film noir. This is Chinatown with a laugh track. This is LA Confidential as a gag reel. I mean, and that's fine by me. That's all I expected it to be, and it delivered on that.
And it starts out, the first thing you hear is Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Which you have to like immediately, and then
it's got a great soundtrack.
A little bit later, we get some horse with no name.
You get some Rock and Roll All Night.
Well, Rock and Roll All Night. So
it's got a great Matt Bomer's really good.
He is. As the psychopathic John Boy, the killer. Matt Bomer from Spring, Texas.
I think it's just it's a delightful romp for a movie about porn and violence.
It's a delightful, sadistic
romp,
highly sexualized romp.
Right. I hope they use that on the poster.
Good times. So yeah, we both like The Good Guys. We say go see it.
Robert, I think I liked it more than you did.
Robert, you probably did, but I know you were also very keyed up to like it a lot. And
but mostly when you're keyed up to like something, you're let down
true,
by
then your
it.
expectations can be deflated.
It lived up to my expectations. I wouldn't say it transcended.
I dug it too. I wanted it to end about 20 minutes before it did, but
my kid felt the same way about Captain America: Civil War, and
he's right.
He's like, the fight sequences are too long. I'm like, it's a comic book movie. How can you say that?
Make all movies shorter.
Oh, well, that I don't disagree with.
Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.